comes to being Hokage, many men and women have had that dream, but not everyone's given the opportunity to lead the village and then the leaves. In order to become Hokage, a ninja must boast a lot of numerous qualities. They must come from a very strong tree of sensei, i.e. their teacher must be someone who's trained by someone who has name recognition themselves. For example, Naruto's teacher was Kakashi, who was also taught by Minato, who was also taught by Jiraiya, who was also taught by the third Hokage, who was taught by the first and second Hokage. Now, the other thing that the feudal lord looks at is the raw power of the ninja. He looks at the accomplishments of the ninja, the name recognition of the ninja, and most importantly, the Jonin Council looks at the Kage level wisdom that will be necessary to lead the village into a more prosperous era. Directly after the war, Naruto Uzumaki had quite a few of those boxes checked off. However, there was a time before Boruto Naruto Next Generations when Tsunade herself shut the door on the possibility of Naruto becoming Hokage in the near future. In today's edition of After Naruto Shippuden, we're going to look at why Tsunade vocally spoke out against Naruto being the next Hokage and what led her to coming to this very, very hot take. For those of you who are new to the channel, After Naruto Shippuden is a series on the channel where we take a look at the story of Naruto that takes place after chapter 699 and Naruto chapter 700, which takes place a full year before the events of Naruto Gaiden. Getting back to the video itself, for Tsunade to take this stance towards Naruto speaks volumes. After all, she is the one who gave him the necklace of the first Hokage, and she was the one who bet on Naruto to be the one to achieve his dream of becoming Hokage and not falling in the same curse that her lover Dan did, as well as her little brother Nawaki. What exactly happened to make Tsunade change her mind? Well, the information is given to us in the Kakashi Hiden novel, Lightning in the Frozen Sky, which I'll leave links down to in the description box for anyone who wants to read that novel and do so in a way that helps the channel out. It's in this scene that we see Tsunade speaking a very harsh truth about Naruto, calling him too immature to be Hokage despite all the power that Naruto has. Her reasoning for this is that Kakashi, despite having verbally accepted the title of 6th Hokage, still had not formally gone through with accepting the role via inauguration, which left Tsunade still running the day-to-day responsibilities as Hokage. And as I talked about in another video that takes place just before this scene, Tsunade had her own baggage as well. Tsunade was getting into fights at gambling halls, Tsunade was drinking a lot, Tsunade had a lot of stuff that she was dealing with. Now, the reason for her giving Naruto this tongue lashing is that because at this point in the series, Naruto was pretty much known far and wide as being the next Hokage. Everyone knew that. It wasn't a matter of if, it was more like a matter of when would Naruto be Hokage. The only thing that's keeping Naruto back from taking the position of 6th Hokage is that the guy didn't know any type of the political aspects, and his immaturity and his naive nature was still a problem that still needed to be worked on. Therefore, he was put on the bench and Kakashi was chosen to be the 6th Hokage. Tsunade points all that out to Kakashi, and it's mainly because Kakashi's still dragging his feet on taking the Hokage position. At this point, Naruto is still being entrusted with high-level S-rank missions, like the one he went on with Sai to round up all the rogue ninja who, after they were trapped inside the infinite Tsukiyomi and had a chance to experience their own dream world, rebelled against the 5 great nations because they now sided with Mamoru Uchiha's line of thinking of wanting to create a world without winners and losers and undo the ninja system altogether. Now, one of Naruto's missions was to stop the massacre that happened in the Land of Waves after the war, where Naruto faced down with the leader of the Armament Alliance who was responsible for this slaughter. However, despite all this, Naruto was still the one to pull pranks in broad daylight if he wanted the attention. He was still one to openly talk a little too loud and a little too boisterously about things that should only be discussed in private. So, in short, Naruto at this point in the story still had an issue with tact. At this point in the timeline, Naruto would have moments where he would complain about being used as an escort for a very important person or having to sit in on important meetings on top of having to do all the studying that is required of him. Now, for Tsunade, though Naruto had the support of the villagers and many of the requirements to be Hokage, Naruto, in her opinion, was years away from being Hokage. And given the fact that Naruto wouldn't truly mature and take his role as being the unofficial Hokage understudy very seriously and accepting the fact that he was being groomed to be the next Hokage, Naruto wouldn't change until the birth of his son Boruto, and 2 years later the sense of urgency would pick up once his daughter Himawari was born. However, what did you guys think here? Did you guys agree with Tsunade's assessment that Naruto still needed to play on the bench for almost a decade before he would become the next Hokage? Or do you think that Naruto should just been thrown into the frying pan, and assuming that he was surrounded by ninja who could protect Naruto from his own idiocy, do you think Naruto's 6th Hokage could have worked? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And also, as a side note, I'm testing this this out on a few videos of just giving you guys the explanation and not reading the actual passages just to see what the actual response is. So if you guys prefer the text, let me know and I'll start back using the text and doing the readings. And if you like this style better, let me know and I'll continue making the videos in this way going forward. But so always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.